Alrighty guys, I'm once again 6-0 in my last 6 board member tier package bets on my website. And if you want to see a video breakdown of every one of my personal bets here today, the only way you can do that is to watch my board member podcast. And the only way to access my board member podcast is to join my full access, all-inclusive board member package on my website. But before we get into some more of that, just want to take a quick time out and welcome you to my college basketball free pick video here today for Friday, March 3rd, 2023. Happy Friday to you. The weekend's finally here. Of course, my name is Brock Page, and I've been giving out free sports picks right here on YouTube since 2016. I also sell my personal sports bets on patreon.com/BrockPage. And once again, guys, if you want to see a full video breakdown of every one of my personal bets here today, you can do that right now by becoming a board member on my website. Folks who are signed up to my all-inclusive board member package, they get access to my board member podcast every single day you signed up. You're also going to get access to every single personal play, every single package, every single day till April 1st as well. Now, you may be wondering what the difference is between what I do here on YouTube and what I do on my website. Well, what I do here on YouTube is I'll handicap the entire slate of games in any given sport, side, and total. And what I do on my website is I actually share with you which one of these free picks on these videos that I'm actually betting on personally. And with that, guys, actually, real quick, we currently have over 505 members who are signed up and active on my site right now. And with that, guys, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. We're going to start off in the MAC. It's actually going to be Eastern Michigan taking on Northern Illinois. 1 o'clock Eastern tip-off in the Convocation Center. Northern Illinois is -5, totals 149.5. And for a team laying a couple of buckets here, the Huskies have certainly played some bad basketball lately. They lost 4 out of their last 5 ball games, and they've had a tough time scoring against Eastern Michigan in recent meetings. Out of their last 10 contests against the Eagles, Northern Illinois has been held to just 68 points per contest. As far as this season's concerned, the Huskies have had a real tough time on defense. These guys are giving up 75 points a game, and they're arguably the worst defensive rebounding team in the MAC. Now, they're facing an Eastern Michigan squad who covered in 7 out of their last 10 themselves, and they've been real good against the point spread in conference play. Out of 16 ball games against the MAC, Eastern Michigan covered in 63% of those contests. When it comes to offensive production, the Eagles are averaging nearly 77 points a game away from campus. Imani Bates, he scores over 19.5 points per contest. He leads the team in that category. Meanwhile, Tyson Acuff and Noah Farrakhan, they're averaging well over 12 points per contest, respectively. Now, total-wise, Eastern Michigan saw overs recently against the likes of Buffalo and Ohio. They also went 7-3 the over in their last 10 meetings with Northern Illinois. So once again, if you're into historical trends, plenty of overs to go around. Now, the Huskies went 60% to the over in their last 10 themselves. Give me Eastern Michigan +5 over 149.5. Next game, Northern Iowa taking on Bradley, 1 o'clock Enterprise Center. Bradley's -10.5, totals 135. Now, Bradley's been insanely tough to score against this year. They're in the top 15 in the nation in defensive points per contest. They're also limiting their competition to just 39% shooting from the field. Malevi Leons, he has 50 steals on the season and 49 blocks. Leons is also second on the team in points. When it comes to offensive production, Rank Mast is scoring a team-best 14 points a game, along with 8 rebounds. And speaking of boards, UNI is one of the worst offensive rebounding teams in the MVC. And when it comes to offensive production, the Panthers are averaging just 68 points a game away from their own building. Now, total-wise, UNI went 80% to the over in their last 10. The Panthers are also 14-7 to the over against conference opponents. Give me Bradley -10.5. over 135. Next game, Monmouth, Hampton, 2 o'clock in the nation's capital. Hampton's -1, totals 142.5. As bad as Hampton's been defensively this year, They did get the W in 2 out of their last 3. That includes an 86-81 win over this very Monmouth team. Marquise Godwin, he's knocking down over 40% of his attempts from 3-land. He also averages 12.5 points a game. Meanwhile, Jordan Nesbitt, he averages a team-high 15 points per contest. They're facing a Monmouth team who lost their last 4 straight. They give up 77 points a game away from home. No real surprise here, guys. Monmouth is one of the worst defensive rebounding teams in the Colonial. Now, total-wise, Monmouth went 12-6 to the over in all of their contests away from their home court. Meanwhile, Hampton saw overs recently against the likes of Drexel, Towson, and this very Monmouth team. Give me Hampton -1 over 142.5. Next game, Indiana State taking on Belmont, 3:30 p.m. East. Indiana State's -2.5, totals 153. This does feel like a pretty good number for Indiana State backers. They covered in 9 out of their last 10, and they're one of the better offensive teams in the country. The Sycamores are averaging nearly 80 points a game for the entire season. Cavassier McCauley, he's scoring a team-high 15 points a game, and he does a nice job shooting from long distance. Meanwhile, Cooper Neese and Robbie Avila, they're averaging double-digit points per contest themselves. Now, they're facing a Belmont team who won just 50% of their ball games away from campus this year. When it comes to covering the point spread, the Bruins failed to cover in 6 out of their last 10. Now, Belmont's biggest issue has been rebounding and defense. The Bruins are allowing just about 72 points a game for the entire season. When it comes to the scoring, Belmont saw 7 out of their last 9 get over the line. Meanwhile, Indiana State saw overs against the likes of Evansville, Murray State, and this very Belmont team. Give me Indiana State -2.5 over 153. With that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final breakdown for the video. It is going to be Citadel taking on Mercer. They're not at Mercer, they're taking on Mercer. And that'll be a 5 o'clock Eastern start time. Mercer's -6, totals 134. And even though Mercer hasn't been great this year, I do think they can cover this number here. The Bears went 6-3 against the spread in their last 9. And in their last 10 head-to-head meetings with Citadel, the Bears got the W 7 times. Kamar Robertson, he makes 41% of his three-pointers. And he ranks second on the team in points. Meanwhile, Jalen McCreary, he's scoring a team-best 15 points a game. Now, they're facing a Citadel team who lost 9 out of their last 10. They've certainly had a tough time with Mercer in recent meetings. Out of their last 10 games against the Bears, Citadel got the W only 3 times, and they were held to just 63 points per contest. As far as this season's concerned, the Bulldogs have done a poor job on offense, especially away from home. Citadel's giving up I meant to say defense. They're doing a poor job on defense. Citadel's giving up 78 points a game away from their own arena. Now, total-wise, Citadel saw unders in 5 out of their last 6. Meanwhile, Mercer's 69% to the under for the entire season. Give me Mercer -6, under 134. With that, guys, now it's time for our quick pick recap. UNC Asheville -8 over 145. Bradley -10.5 over 135. Eastern Michigan +5 over 149.5. Hampton -1 over 142.5. I'm 6-0 in my last 6 board member tier package bets on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. And if you want to see a video breakdown of every one of my personal bets here today, the only way to do that is to sign up for my all-inclusive board member package on that site. Give me Gardner-Webb -4 over 132. Indiana State -2.5 over 153. Mercer -6 under 134. Longwood -5 over 132. Kent State -4 over 134. Toledo -3 over 158. Miami, Ohio +9 under 153. Dayton -1.5 over 137 and a hook. East Carolina +13 under 156. Central Michigan +7 under 138. Denver +1 under 148. Drake -9 over 141. VMI plus 11 over 147. Abilene Christian plus 8 over 134. Bowling Green plus 11 under 156. Stephen F. Austin plus 7 over 142. Morehead State minus 2 over 143. Radford minus 1.5 over 141. BYU minus 6 over 156. Cal Baptist plus 7 under 146. Utah Tech plus 1 over 147. Nebraska Omaha plus 1 under 134.5. Southern Illinois minus 1 under 120 and a hook. Seattle minus 6 over 134. Tennessee Martin minus 3 under 154. Colorado State plus 1 under 153.5. With my next and final free pick, give me San Francisco minus 7 over 153.